Hello everyone, it's Mark Perbenow. If I was standing right in front of you, this is exactly what you would see. Right to the tie, same thing, stripes. I'm going to talk to you today about the NELP standards and how do I feel I rate on those standards. As I go along the journey, you're going to see the backgrounds change. It's going to show you a little bit about things that I've done, things about the school that I work in, and I hope you enjoy my reflection. Standard 1. As I think of the Standard 1, I ask myself the question, what drives you to make a school something you can be proud of? It's a reflection of myself and the internal motor that motivates me to do the best I can and live with my choices while learning from each interaction. As a potential building leader, when I reflect on the NELP standards, I have an understanding that they are a joint venture. I could dictate a mission and vision, but it will mean nothing unless I have supporting cast to believe and promote it. As I reflect on the elements of standards, 1, I feel pretty good about myself. I have high expectations. I want a group of people to work with and for me, supporting each other through a deserving cause. I want a team that strives for improvement through teacher learning and sharing. Based on some of my experience forming committees, working within groups, and being part of a building leadership team, I'm confident I know what I need to do in order to be successful creating a mission and proper vision as a principal. Standard 2, ethics and professional norms. Honesty, integrity, and accountability are all values needed to be proficient in these standards. I always talk to students about the difference between being someone's friend and being friendly. When I start a new job, go to a meeting, or someplace I haven't been before and I meet people, I don't go in looking for new friends. I go to be friendly, courteous, and open-minded. If lucky, I walk out with new friends. Standard 2 is really about the same premise. I find that my experiences in the Boy Scouts and later in the military help me shape those core values, not to mention my parents. I look at the elements in Standard 2 and I think of what a solid family would look like. I know families have faults, but the solid ones always pull together in the same directions. Just like a school with a set of well-established priorities, as I reflect, I can say I feel good about these elements. However, in a classroom, I can make decisions and process requests, jump around from topic to topic, and get my message across to students. I can differentiate for students in the spur of a moment. I don't get flustered when making a decision about a student because I have so much information already on hand. I know the direction I want the class and students to take. Standard 2, Element 2.2, decision making, is something I need to work on. Take this assignment for instance. Due to its ambiguous nature, it really threw me for a loop. It's like, what door do I choose? I didn't know where to start. I didn't have an example. I needed help. I needed more explicit instructions in order to make a final decision on the direction of my project. So, as a leader, I need to work on decision making. I'm not proficient at this point in my career. Kind of like going to a restaurant with a huge menu. I'm always the last one to order. Too many choices. I need clarifications in order to narrow things down and make the correct decisions. I am competent, but not proficient, due to the ignorance of making principal decisions. Standard 3, equity and cultural leadership. All students can learn. All students can contribute. All students have the right to an education free from disruption, free from harassment, despite the challenges in their lives. So for Standard 3, I'm stealing this next passage from Dawn's post because she said it better than I could. So thank you, Dawn. She says, consistency, along with good communication and building relationships. Consistency is key to success. Whether it be responding to discipline, returning phone calls, writing a weekly newsletter, introducing a new program, hiring new employees, acting on a staff issue, or a myriad of other principal tasks, you must be consistent in your response and approach. I'm a very consistent person at school and in my work. I have a certain vibe that students understand and respect. I feel like as a potential administrator I'll be fine in this standard, I don't have the luxury of knowing all the parents, so building rapport with them would be a work in progress, but I feel more than competent and almost proficient in this standard. Standard 4, instructional leadership. Yay, proficient! These standards are basically my job description as a math specialist. I engage in instructional practices, assessment data management, learning supports, and I implement coherent systems of curriculum. That's what I do. Standard 5, community and external leadership. I have to break these down by elements. Though I'm very visible in my small community, it's mostly because of sports and my children. I feel like the individual elements of this standard are easily attainable. I just need to be more proactive. Elements 5.1, 5.2, I assess myself as competent, proficient, somewhere in between, for communication and engagement. I deal with a lot of homeschool families and outside placement students. I head up the 8th grade rafting trip. I get permission for testing when needed. I send out articles in our Lancer newsletter. I have discussions in the grocery store and at basketball games. Element 5.3, partnerships. I have no data for this other than working on contract negotiations for our local union. Therefore, I'm a novice and would love to have more interactions with the private sector of our school, for our school. Element 5.4, advocacy for our students, for our communities, for our school. I'm competent in a standard, but need more work. Recently, another math specialist and I headed up a math program review. It was fun and challenging. We really had to look hard at what our district found valuable for the success of our students and teachers. It was an eye-opening experience due to the community not feeling very comfortable helping children with their learning process. In the end, all parties seemed satisfied with their decision. It was great teamwork. Standard 6, operations and management. I feel like this is a big standard which requires a skill set involving time and experience. Though I am familiar with data collection resources, some hiring and development of IPs, I can't say that I have enough time in the trenches to have a good handle on these topics. Therefore, I'm a real novice. Standard 7, human resource leadership. I relish the opportunities that I get being a math specialist. I get to conduct interviews regarding math teachers. I get to give very informal evaluations. But again, I'm a novice in these standards. Element 7.2, 7.3, I would classify myself as competent in sustaining culture and conditions within the workplace, but I haven't been actively involved in forming those goals. All in all, I would say that I'm a student of the standards. I know some of them and feel competent meeting them. I can contribute to some others because I feel very proficient in them. But ultimately, I'm here to learn about those standards that I am a novice in and to progress to a proficient stage. Thanks for listening.